horror fam, the HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Duff, and as always, I'm here with my co-hosts, Jess and Jonathan. Welcome back, guys.
We're
Feel a little
back.
rusty. Oh, I don't know
I
if I
mean,
know
it
how to do
wasn't
this.
that long. I guess it was, 3 weeks ago or so?
Yeah.
Four weeks?
Yeah, longer than
Hmm,
that. It was in
4
December
weeks.
still.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a new
Happy
year.
New Year! Wow, look at that.
Woo!
We're back, and we are here to talk HHN. Shocker. But before we get into that, follow us on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365. Our TikTok at HHN365pod. Join our Discord where we talk HHN all the time. That's going to be in the description where you'll find that link. Check out our merch shop at hhn365.com. And if you want to leave a voicemail that will play here on the show, that number is 407 906 4134. And on today's show, I think we have a lot of catch up to do on rumors. So many rumors. So many rumors. So I think we're going to kind of be honest how we feel about some of them too, which is always fun. But before we get into that, we do have just one bit of news, and that's that we have the official date announcement for HHN 35 in Orlando, and it's kind of what we all expected. It follows the same schedule it has been. That's going to be August 28th through November 1st. However, there's one big difference. The dates line up just a bit different, and this is not going to be Labor Day weekend lining up with opening day weekend. So if you enjoyed having that Monday off, well, you're going to have to take it off yourself now.
I mean, I'm happy. Earliest it's ever started, as we say every year. But I don't know. I liked that long week.
Hasn't it started the 28th already? No?
I think
Or was
the
it 29th
29th
only?
was the
Was it just the
earliest.
29th? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm probably wrong. Somebody's going to yell at us, but I'm pretty sure.
It's whatever last year was. So I think,
The
it was the
29th.
29th. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Earliest never started. Yay.
Whoa.
But like not a long weekend, but also question now, does this mean that it'll be not as busy? Because a lot of people do
That is
travel. I mean, it's
true.
opening weekend, but like out of towners, like maybe you just take the whole week. Fuck it. Like you take the weekend before opening weekend and then you take Labor Day too. Cool, good for you. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a little less crowded. Probably not, but
No, I think you have a point. I think you might be right there because without Labor
Mhm.
Day weekend, I think a lot of people are just gonna wait till
Yeah.
till the following week.
And you'd imagine it would like really help that Sunday of opening weekend too.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because even
Maybe
the
I
people who do
will.
come are probably going to be heading out that day.
I might take that Monday off and have 2 3-day weekends in a row.
Shit. Why not?
It's not that bad of a deal, and then the second Friday of the event, Labor Day Friday, like, it it's not opening night. So maybe that'll be less crowded too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. Hmm. Well, let's see how
No.
this plays out. That'll be an interesting kind of change that we're going to experience. That I want to see how it actually plays out. Very very curious. Yeah, but with that, it's time to get into the rumor roundup. There's so many rumors for us to talk about. We're going to talk about the code names we received in November at this point. So those have been out for a while. We're going to kind of play with those a little bit, potentially with the rumors. So first, Jonathan, if you'd like to go with the code names and just run us through those real quick.
Yeah. I'm both gonna say the location, what was previously in that location. So those who don't necessarily know the numbers and the names like I do, can get sort of a visualization of where it is, plus the code name that corresponds to that. And this year, all the code names are themed to different types of vehicles. So starting off with Soundstage 24B, which is where Grave of Flesh was located, the code name is Train. Then we're going to move on to Soundstage 24A, which is where Insidious was located. Notice that is the last house that was in that location, and that was not last year, is Chariot. Then we have Sprung Tent 1, which was previously Hatchet and Chains, which is the code name Shuttle. Then Sprung Tent 2, which was Dolls Let's Play Dead, and that is the code name Wagon. Soundstage 23B, which was Five Nights at Freddy's, is the code name Bus. B138B, which are the new sprung tents. This is where Galkin was particularly. The code name is Hearse, and I believe they actually spelled it wrong in the actual code name. They spelled it HERSE, which I think was on purpose. But we'll move on to that. The next New Sprung Tent, which is where Fallout was, B138A, is Tractor. And then Fast and Furious, where Jason Universe was, is codename Helicopter. Then Soundstage 22, which was El Artista, a Spanish haunting, is the codename Balloon. And then Soundstage 23A, which was the Wyatt 6, is the codename Car. And one thing to notice is that there is no Soundstage 25 permit, which was Terrifier last year. So, as history shows, when all these permits are released, generally that's what we have. This is the 10. So that would likely mean that Soundstage 25 is not going to be used this year, which also means no Mega House this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of miss it.
Ooh.
I'd love the how long Terrifier was and how they used the space to its advantage. And I forgot how much I missed houses of that length, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's not in the lineup of my favorite houses of all time that go into 25, uh, I always enjoy how the space is utilized at the very least. I just kind of like that location tucked away back there too, for how it always works kind of with crowd flow and queue usage. So, yeah, a little disappointing if that doesn't return.
Do you think that maybe because of the construction that could possibly be they don't want like maybe they can't cross. I don't know, just thoughts. Maybe we can't go back that way anymore. I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah, that's definitely possible, especially the way that coaster is going to wrap around that area.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they're going to use the space at all, to be completely honest. So it would make a
Mhm.
ton of sense that some just have to get eliminated, and they don't really have much of a choice about it.
Yeah, it sucks cuz like I again, not like you said, Duff, not my favorite houses are there, but if we're gonna have the last Stranger Things, have it in the mega house location.
Hmm.
Yep.
Not the case, but eh. Oh well, it's not an every year space anyways, so
No, not even
Yeah.
close. I mean, what? It's had
yeah.
4 appearances total.
Mhm.
Not much.
So yeah, don't get used to it.
Now, here's an important part about the code names, and I think this is pretty important. I believe that the theme of the code names actually does matter to the event. I don't think the theme is picked because, at least now currently that they're showing up on permits again, I don't think the theme is picked willy nilly. Because for the past 2 years, the theme that has been shown on the permits, for the public to see, has been related to the event itself. For example, HHN 33s was themed to various desserts. And that year, Major Sweets had I think, a very prominent role in HHN 33, with his own candy shop and his own house, and everything like that. And all the code names that year were themed to desserts. And then 34, every code name was themed to flowers. And we had for the theme, an overgrown conservatory aesthetic throughout the entire park. With that said, do any of us have any guesses or theories on why they chose vehicles as this year's sort of theme for codenames?
Um, uh, no, no, I don't. I'll just chime in that I think you are correct, and it does matter. But no, I do not currently have a guess.
Um, you know, I agree. They probably matter. My guess is we'll find out how they're represented in each house.
It's
I
true.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I literally I feel so dumb right now because I have zero thoughts about that at all. Nothing.
Does it being an anniversary year help your thoughts at all or no?
No.
Like, does it? No.
It
Yeah.
might make it worse actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the fact that anniversary and I don't know.
It's
I'll come back
it's
to this.
recapping a long and winding
Oh god.
road.
Of
Mhm.
history. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, we're on a journey through the history of
Mm-hmm.
HHN. There's my
Mm-hmm.
thought. I got it.
Yep.
Are you gonna take a train? A hearse? I don't remember the other one's a car, a
Maybe you're
bus.
gonna take a supercharged vehicle, and this whole year's about
Oh,
family.
Okay, actually, I do have a thought, Jonathan. Thank you so much for bringing up family. I think that creative was so inspired by the coaster that they were like, it has to be vehicles. It has to be transportation, guys. It's the only way we keep it like 100 family over here.
100 family.
100 family. Put it on a t-shirt. Boom, that's a t-shirt for this year. 100 family. There's my thought.
There we go.
Thank you for
M-
asking.
My thought of what maybe this could mean is like, traveling. And if this year, based on what we saw in El Artista last year, we'll talk about this later. And El Artista had hints to Oddfellow and Jack and all that good stuff. I wonder if the theme for this year could be, because it's an anniversary, and if we go that route, could be like a traveling circus type thing, you know, and maybe that ties into the overall theme. And if you have Oddfellow and Jack in the same year, and that's what you focus on for this, for this year, if that's the route they want to go, maybe that could be why vehicles are the code names. But also, it's way too early to
Mm,
tell, and that's just a complete guess on my part.
yeah, I will say they have. Again, it's only mattered really for the past couple years. Obviously, they've tied in specifically to houses for longer than that, but they don't make it easy. Because even last
No.
year we were looking, and clearly now we look back at it, we're like, yeah, overgrown, and that makes so much sense. It didn't. It wasn't that easy just staring at it. Like it's not something they want you to figure out. They want you to go, oh, once they start revealing stuff.
Mhm. No, that's very true. So I think later in spec season, because we're really right at the beginning, though it has started really since December. But
Hmm.
for all intents and purposes, we're right at the beginning of spec season, and I'm sure in a couple months maybe things will start to click a little more in terms of what the code names relate to and all that good stuff.
Yep. It'll come into play. It'll start to make sense. And I think once we start to get some of them figured out, it might bring everything together a bit more, or it might not at all. And they could also just kind of be going back to like, yeah, they don't really make as much sense as they did last year.
It's true.
Always a possibility.
But remember when we were talking about family just a bit ago? We do have one piece of news, that's in kind of related to the coaster, because the coaster affects HHN, and it's been officially announced to be Fast and Furious, the Hollywood Drift, that coaster that's being built that everyone knew for months, and
In New York.
in New York, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
gotta love family. But the good part about this is that this means, and they officially announced this, that Fast and Furious Supercharged will close in 2027. I don't think they gave a month. I think they just said the year
Hmm.
that it's gonna close. So in theory, it's very possible that this might be the last year of the Fast and Furious house location.
Hmm. I will say it just depends what the replacement is. If it's something that uses the same footprint as Supercharged, then obviously they can kind of continue to do what they've been doing. I could also see a world potentially where they don't immediately utilize that space, so maybe it's still just kind of an open building to use for HHN in 2027.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, if it's some big undertaking where they're gonna completely overhaul the space, then it's possible we never use this space for HHN again, which would be kind of crazy because technically we've been using this space since the beginning. Basically,
Mhm.
even back when it was Earthquake was used as a house location. So um, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that goes because even though it's not the same space. When you're waiting outside in the queue, like fully outside the soundstage itself, it still feels like waiting in that old like earthquake and disaster queue. So it would be really weird if that's suddenly gone.
Well, Jonathan and I didn't know that life.
No, we did
So,
That's true.
not.
To be
um,
fair, I don't wait in the standby line there anyway, so it
yeah, I was
doesn't
about to
matter.
say, excuse the fuck out of you,
but
Don.
I look at it and go, oh, that looks familiar.
Mm,
Bye.
drive-by nostalgia is crazy, Duff.
Well, it's not
Y-
nostalgic yet. Not till it's gone.
Okay, but you're having nostalgia about the old times.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
true. Yeah, that's true.
And me,
You
me and you,
know,
Jess, will have nostalgia of Chucky Ultimate Kill Count and Blumhouse 2 and Jason Universe.
well,
You always remember your first cuck.
well, well, I missed you guys. I had a thought, and Duff just made my thought run away and hide.
My apologies.
Um, wow. Okay, no, I had it. I had it. I had it. Well, oh, I do remember. It did not matter. Rest in piss, bitch. You killed Beetlejuice. Fuck you.
I kind of like the suspense that you built up with that one. That was nice.
It wasn't a bit. I actually
Just
forgot.
just to say fuck you in the end, and that was it.
Well, you're welcome.
But yeah, I'm stoked this is gone. I know we're here to talk about HHN, but fuck Supercharged. Everyone agrees. This isn't some hot take, obviously, but I'm so happy to see it go and see Fast and Furious get an attraction um, that A should be better, obviously, and B not really rely on the thematics of Fast and Furious at all because I think the franchise is also pretty trash. So, win-win.
They also announced it's leaving the tram tour too, right? In Hollywood, I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Yeah, they might have. I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it will. Goodbye, Supercharged. Rest in piss. Rest
Bye
in
bye.
piss. Bye
Real
bye.
quick, because it's the biggest talk in theme park community right now. What do you think about the name Hollywood Drift in Orlando?
Ah! You could have called it Orlando Drift. You could have called it New York Drift because it's in the New York section of the park. I echo a lot of people's feelings, but as a coaster fan, that just like, oh my god, it grinds my gears.
Hmm.
I think with the rumored story of the attraction, it makes sense. I don't want to say it because I don't want to say what the rumored story is.
Hmm.
But I think it makes sense. It
Okay.
just feels wrong. Also, like I can both understand that. Yeah, the name it fits with the story, and can also go. I don't like it. So both things can be true.
Uh, and my biggest gripe is that I hate when attractions share the same name but are entirely different
Hmm.
beings. Like, it's not like it's Haunted Mansion and Haunted Mansion, you know? Like, it's two completely separate coasters who share the same name, and that bothers me. It always does. So that's my biggest gripe. Be creative. What the fuck you doing? But with that, I think we can stop bitching and moaning for the time being. That might change soon. We'll see. But we can hop into our rumor roundup. So there are, as we mentioned, quite a few rumors we're going to go over. I think there's even some we're just straight up ignoring because they were so minuscule and barely on the radar. And there's some that we wish we would ignore, but have become bigger things, and we feel like we have to talk about. Um, so Jonathan did us a favor here and split this into kind of separate categories. Ones that make sense, ones that are kind of in the middle, and then ones that we just don't think are really going to happen at all. Um, I think it probably makes the most sense to start with category one and kick that off with the rumor that came out during HHN 34, which people were not happy about. But we're back to it. Here we are, finally in January. And of course, that rumor being Hellraiser coming as a house to Halloween Horror Nights. Uh, do you guys believe that you've seen enough evidence to show that this will come? Is it something you're excited to see come?
Yes. Like very much so. This was like you said, this was the earliest rumor. So early that people were like, "You can't talk about this. HHN's happening. You can't talk about this. It's not time yet." But guess what? It's still here. It hasn't left. It's circling around every insider, legacy, Fortnite members, all those people. They're still constantly saying it. I think they all, legacy in particular specifically says this one is like out of all the rumors that will be on this list is the most likely to happen. So in terms of likeliness, I think I think it's very really really up there, probably number one out of everything on this list. And in terms of if I want it, absolutely. Hellraiser is one of my wish list properties to come to HHN, but it's kind of a thing that I'm like, it's gonna, I just feel like it was in Wright's hell and wasn't gonna happen. But as you pointed out, Duff, I think Clive Barker now, what you said, like he had a court case, and now Barker owns all of them.
Yeah, he regained the rights in 2021 to the entire franchise.
And with that said, now it makes sense to bring it to Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, you have a property that has really, really good character design, creepy character design, really good music, amazing atmosphere and sets and special effects you can use. And just having Pinhead in a house could be tremendous. So there's not much else I can say besides this would be fucking amazing. And if they really focus it on, there's a lot of movies in the Hellraiser franchise. I think we just recently found out it's 10 plus the one reboot.
Hmm.
If they want to focus it on two specifically, where you actually go into the realm and you do a lot of, like you actually see the scenic of that world, it'd be fucking phenomenal. I'm like right now for a rumor, I'm really hyped about this.
I just learned tonight how passionate about this Jonathan is, and I'm so excited for you. I, on the other hand, had to ask what was Hellraiser about before we started recording. So I'm excited to have to do homework. I think it's inevitable at this point, like we said. I will not be watching 10 films though, at all.
Yeah, that won't be necessary regardless
I
for
know.
your own sanity for
Thank
some of
you.
those.
I will not be
Um,
doing that.
but I think you'll enjoy at least the first few.
You told me about the one I have to watch too. Whatever number that was.
Oh yeah, yeah, the one that's actually not important to the franchise, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you'll enjoy for reasons. Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, I got some, I mean, I'm not starting homework now. It has to be announced, but it's happening. Come on. At this point,
Well, if you want to watch all 10, you can start now.
Duff, I started The Righteous Gemstones. Gotta bring up
Oh, got
Goggins for
some
a
Gog.
second.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, I told you how much Gog I got in that show.
I heard the whole Gog, the
The
Gog's
whole
hog.
Jonathan, the whole Gog.
The whole one.
The whole Gog was
Oh
in a
god.
bathtub, and he stood
Oh,
up, and I went, "Ah!"
oh my god.
So but it's really good, but wow, it's wild. But yeah, I started that. There Walton Goggins, brought him up in the episode. Woo!
Now to move on from Walton Goggins' huge dong.
I
Um,
didn't say that. I never said that.
I don't know. It's Goggins. I just assumed.
I
Um,
I will not be speaking on this
all right,
further.
moving on. Uh, so yeah, Hellraiser. I think kind of for Jonathan's reasoning that this is kind of something that's been in the air for so long and is still sticking around to this point. Probably a pretty good indicator that it's coming. I mean, that usually is a good indicator in the past. You can just look at last year with Terrifier being kind of the first big IP rumor dropped in December. Stuck around the whole time. Obviously, was at the event, and it's also just a property that feels like they've been missing. Like I don't know if it's a white whale for them, um, but it feels like one they should have done already, and it's kind of surprising that it's still on the table as something that we've been waiting for. So it just makes too much sense if it's rumored this heavily at this point. And also, I would be very excited for it. I do enjoy most of the Hellraiser Well, I enjoy nearly half of the Hellraiser franchise. Um, but yeah, I'd be very excited to see this. I think it could be tough to execute. Not gonna lie. There's so much to the visuals in this world that it's not gonna be easy. But if they pull it off, it could be extremely impressive. So I look forward to seeing. It's gonna be a challenge, and we've seen it work for them recently, and we've also seen it go very, very poorly. So, but I think that's fun. Take a swing at something, see how it lands. Uh,
Absolutely.
But I think we can move on to our next rumor, which is still in our makes sense category, and that is going to be the return of Resident Evil. Um, I don't know if anyone's tried to speculate exactly like what part of the franchise this would be, but I have not seen any of that.
There has been speculation, but I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played these games. I'm not familiar with these games at all. And when people say numbers of it might be this one, I'm just like, I don't remember. It doesn't stick in my head because I don't know what game that is. I know for sure that that one of the rumors for this is like the eighth one, the last one that came out. I
Maybe. I
I think
haven't played it in a while.
I think that one would be heavily featured. I think they're making a new one, which is
Hmm.
why this is in the make sense category. Plus they're doing a lot of Resident Evil stuff. Like they're remaking another game or like remastering it, and there's a lot of Resident Evil stuff that started just popping up everywhere on my feed and everywhere. Just everyone's like, look at this. Like, oh my god, Resident Evil's like starting to, get a you know, resurgence. Like the last game gave it a big resurgence too, because I know that one was everywhere. But yeah, I think that one. I think people have said five would be one of like maybe one of them, or I don't know. I'm not familiar with this property, but I know there are a lot of people who are really passionate about it, and that's what makes me
Hmm.
excited because when people are passionate and think it can make sense, I believe them. Even at, Wyatt Six, like other properties. I don't know much, but I think it could be good.
And where did you close out last year, Jonathan?
Wyatt Six. See, maybe I'll
Yeah.
close out. Rumored Resident Evil house.
Maybe I'll be there right there with you because I, again, know nothing about this property besides it's been to HHN before. So I'm excited for people that are excited.
Yeah, I will say my only concern is I used to play the Resident Evil games. Like we're talking more than a decade ago at this point, the earlier ones. And I enjoyed the franchise, but I did not enjoy Escape from Raccoon City, which is the house we had at 23. Um, so I don't know. I feel like I probably shouldn't be down on a property because I didn't like the way it was portrayed to us. Uh, 13 years ago, but yeah, it's only human, right?
Yeah, no, you're gonna compare to what you've seen, and I'm kind of happy you brought that up because I remember watching an old interview. I don't remember from what channel or what YouTube video I watched. I don't remember, but someone asked Mike Aiello like what one of his biggest regrets was in Halloween Horror Nights, and I remember because I was making like, oh, that's interesting because most creative people aren't that transparent about things, especially when you work for a big company. But I remember he said the way they tackled Resident Evil was
Mm,
like at the time it was an old video, one of his biggest regrets. Because they just took it in a direction that people didn't enjoy, and it wasn't the route they wanted to go. But Michael back now, and if they are doing Resident Evil, if I'm a creative person and I have a big regret that's this property, if it has a potential of coming back, I'm gonna make sure everything goes into this to make up for what happened before. So that is something that actually kind of intrigues me. That Horror Nights knows a lot of people didn't like the one before, so maybe that challenges them to really put their all into this one if it ends up happening.
hmm. Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, it's possible it's unrelated to IL at all, and he has no creative direction with this house, I
It's
guess.
true too.
But I would hope if he feels or felt that way. I mean, I guess he could suddenly not care about it. It's so long ago, he might not care anymore. Like I said that. What? Whatever. Um, I would assume if he does actually feel that way still, though, that they let him have a little crack at it and get some say in what goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll see. Biohazard, which is kind of the Japanese counterpart of Resident Evil. I mean, it's just what it's known as there. Um, Very popular at their HHN and is there basically every single year, it feels like. So it already has success in general at HHN. So I guess we'll see how it translates here again. Now, this next rumor is a bit more of a big one, a surprising one that a lot of people asked for that at the time. I think people were like, no, that won't happen. Well, it's rumored now. And that is going to be Sinners, which, listen, amazing film. But how do we think that would work as an HHN house? And do we think it will end up being an HHN house?
Hmm. Two different questions.
Mhm.
I I have a theory on before I talk about like if I think it will work or not. I have a theory on like why I think this really could be an HHN house. One, it's still in like like relevant. It's still very, very relevant. It's they're releasing more things about it. It's winning awards right at this point.
Mhm.
It's always in my Twitter feed, and I don't like look up sinners. It just happens to appear like because randomly. And everyone still talks about this movie. It has not died. The hype has not died down really at all. Which is something because if you want an HHN house, it has to have cultural relevance a lot of the time, and Sinners definitely has that. It's definitely still in the popularity, general public's mind. And also there is a code name that I didn't figure this out. I'm not that smart. Our friend Kevin actually figured this out when the rumors started popping up, and everyone was started talking about it. And I have to give him credit for this because sometimes uh code names make a lot of sense. Sometimes they make too much sense. And he was like, well, Tractor, which is one of the code names for B138A, which is the Fallout New Sprung tent. It used to be Fallout. Um, Tractors have smokestacks, and the two main characters of the film are named Smoke and Stack. And the minute he said that, I'm like, this feels like one of those code names that I will never be able to separate from this now, and it has to be real because it's a really good guess. It's an incredible guess for this property. So yeah, that's why I think it really might happen.
That really does feel like one of those like deeper meaning, like that's
Mhm.
how they lay them out. That's how they make these code names, like that kind of level of meaning, a lot of times. So
Mhm.
yeah, I could buy into that a little bit.
And I feel like a tractor would fit in the house if we're like outside the juke joint or whatever, in the little field or whatever. They could shove that in there real easy.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah.
I'm, I if people are listening and they've like watched any of the TikTok lives about the spec map and stuff, I was very vocal about like not wanting this because of how specifically a certain coast has handled characters of certain colors before and like deeper meanings about this film and everything that like I don't want to ignore, but like in the house is not going to focus on that. So like, it's things you have to talk about when talking about something like this. But like at my core, I really fucking want this at the event because I love this film and I think it's going to be amazing. And obviously we love Darkest Steel over here. Very similar. I just I know we're going to do it right. I'm not maybe I'm not going over there this year again. I don't know. I'm
We'll
just saying.
see.
I'm just saying. I hope that maybe that man listened to feedback. We know he did not, but I hope that he did in his heart and we fix those problems.
He walked Jordan Peele through that house while that was happening.
I know. I'm trying to be nice. I can't.
I think this is one thing you don't have. You don't
I
have to be nice
know.
about this exact thing.
But this is just like rumors and spec right now. Like I don't want to take it too seriously, but we do have to acknowledge stuff like that.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, and for me, even outside of that, as excited I would be to see this come, um, I don't know that there'd be a more difficult film for them to try to pull off.
Mhm.
And I think it comes down to the tone of the film and how important that is to the story itself. Like we've talked about so many times, how if you can like feel a story through a house, it truly elevates it. Well, it's not just like an elevation thing for this property. It's like an absolute necessity where you've kind of failed your subject matter completely. It's not something you can just get the aesthetic and the characters and say, "Oh, that's enough." I have to feel every single tonal shift of this film, and I have to live the story like truly. Otherwise, you did do Sinners justice. So, that is a very high bar, and I don't think it's something we should expect in every house. But I think if this is the property that comes, then that's the expectation we kind of have to have. Um, so they're gonna really have to fucking knock it out of the park to make this work. But obviously, I think it's a great film. I think it's beautiful aesthetically. I think it's a great story. There's so many reasons it can work. They're just gonna have to absolutely perfect it.
Yeah. What you don't want this house to become is a basic vampire house.
Mhm.
I
Hmm.
think the minute you do that, it fails fundamentally. And you can make a good basic vampire house. Doesn't have to be Sinners though. Sinners is different than that. Um, and I hope if it happens, they do it well and do it justice. And there are scenes too that are like gonna be so hard to
Yeah.
do because it has to do with the camera work and the way the scene's laid out, like the scene where they're all um he's performing and then you see all the different eras of people
Hmm.
also performing
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And that's such an important scene and it lasts for such a long time. And what is HHN gonna even tackle that? How are they gonna do it? How are they gonna
Mannequins.
do even the big dance numbers and stuff? Like they're important. They are important for the house. You can't just skip over those. So there's a lot of things that it's just like, if they can do it right, this could be a S tier house, but they could also do it very wrong. And not even wrong as in like, it's a bad house, but if it's just a basic house, then it just wasn't done right, if with this
Hmm.
particular property.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, making it tougher is most of these larger scale scenes um, are the ones that you can't avoid, and they have to be in the house.
Mhm.
So I think we could really use Soundstage 25 for Sinners, but that doesn't look like what's going to happen. So yeah, I will be very excited, but also very nervous about this one if it comes.
Yeah.
But it's starting to feel like it's a real possibility, which is kind of crazy to me. Because if you had asked me that, and I think people did talk about it last year, and then during the event last year, people chatted about it, and I was like, no, no way. There's no way. But I mean, hey, it's heavily rumored now. Uh,
It's heavily rumored because it's in the make sense category.
correct.
Thank you, Jonathan. The category you made yourself.
Exactly.
The next one is not so hard to imagine coming to HHN, and that would be Stranger Things, of course, season 5. Just wrapped up. Obviously, it's been at the event 3 other times. Uh, all other 4 seasons have been featured. Kind of only makes sense that it would be here, right? They'd have to wrap it up. And obviously, it was a massive, I don't know if I want to say hit, 'cause it wasn't necessarily the most well received season, but it did huge numbers, and people are still talking about it.
Mhm. What I'd wonder, and a lot of people were talking about this too. Isn't necessarily my idea, but I think a lot of people have come on to the fact that season 5 for fans, I don't think has hit. Um, you know, if they advertise this as Stranger Things season 5, I don't know if it would do as well compared to, let's say, here is a compilation of all the best moments from Stranger Things that you want, all the best parts ending with, the finale in 5 or something like that. I wonder if that route would make more sense considering there was a lot of all I see on my timeline is backlash to season 5. And I wonder if maybe that would be the better route for Horror Nights, to just be like, remember how good Stranger Things was to compared to here's season 5 specifically, the season that almost everyone goes, that's not it. My girlfriend who loves Stranger Things way more than I do, because I don't after season 2 I started to fall off of it, but she loved it. Season 5, after a couple episodes, she's like, so have you noticed what's going on with the writing? And I'm like, yeah, see, this is how I felt about the other season, but this is worse. And then by the end, she's like, this is not it. I'm like, yeah. So I don't know. I use her as sort of a template because she loved the series, but if 5 came, I don't know if she would feel as strongly compared to just here's Stranger Things. You know what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say?
I understand what you say, but I think when you're talking about like how you market it, you're talking about mainly bringing people in the event for that property, right? And like every other time they've done it, the house has literally just been called Stranger Things.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, well,
that's
it's been
true.
based on specific things. I don't know how well they specifically marketed that because they don't need to. They just want to say, "Hey, Stranger Things is here."
Mhm.
So I think at the end of the day, if it comes, they're probably just going to call it Stranger Things again. And like,
Yeah.
obviously, if you focus on the small marketing they do for it, you'll notice, yeah, it's for season 5. Um, but the general marketing is just going to say Stranger Things at Halloween Horror Nights. So I don't know if that would have too much of effect on the drawing power of the property.
That's true. But can 5 make a whole house though? Make a good house?
I will say it at least goes to enough places
Mhm.
and there's enough scenes you can kind of pull and make it work. Does that make it a good house necessarily? I mean, I don't know. The past 2 houses have been not great, that's for sure. But I do think there's at least some scenic that could be really fucking cool, some moments that could be really cool. This is the exact opposite of Sinners, and I kind of want them to just ignore the story and just kind of hit some of the moments. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I think with that, maybe you could get a good house, but I wouldn't be super excited for it. Actually, I wouldn't be excited for it at all.
Are you excited for it at all?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. I it's inevitable. Again, like it's happening. We've done all the other seasons. If they don't do the final one, whatever. I think that is it I don't know. Is it going to be a good house? Probably not. I don't know if I want to talk about season 5 anymore though. I do agree it visits enough places. I think that it'll be interesting to go through. But I wish I had more to say, but I do feel like I'm already exhausted talking about it, and we will have so many more opportunities to talk about it, which is crazy.
That is very true.
Yeah, there's gonna be many. 'Cause I honestly, I think if I was to actually list these of everything we're gonna talk about today, I think I'd put this at number one, most likely to come, even over Hellraiser, which seems like it's almost a shoe in at this point.
Mhm. I would put money on it,
I
and I don't
don't
have money.
I don't see how they don't finish it at this point.
Right.
Obviously, it did not return to Six Flags. I expect it won't come back now. So it's open for the taking, and I'm sure Netflix would love to come back to HHN to finish this off. And I'm sure HHN would love to put Stranger Things on their event one last time so it can draw people in.
Yeah, and I'm ready for ABBA to finally be in a fucking HHN house.
That
It's
is true.
time.
And that is one that they would probably pay for, I hope.
Yeah, after watching the
Yeah.
whole season, I'm like, yeah, you kinda have to have this scene exactly as it is.
Yeah.
It's like one of the only true horror night scenes in the entire show, so they can't really get around it, I don't think.
I think after that episode dropped, you text me and you're like, "We're finally gonna get Abba in a house," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," because they totally didn't skip a huge song in the last Stranger Things house.
Aw, don't make me think about that.
But I'd say this song is kind of more running up that hill esque, not as big and as important, but kind of more that level where like I feel like you want to have it.
Mhm.
You can't just match the tone. I think you need the song,
Yes, absolutely. Especially because it's ABBA, and it's all I wanted.
especially since it's Abba.
It has to happen now. I'm to number 1 hyped house for that one song. Let's go.
Abba house, as far as you're concerned.
Exactly. That's all I'm gonna hear that even if I see a bunch of awful mannequins and wallpaper walls acting like that's the upside down, some fucking garbage, I'd be like, "Oh, that's ABBA. I love this house. Number 1.
Hmm.
No, not really, but it will make me very happy in that moment."
I can't
Oh,
stop singing Mamma Mia in my head, and I know that's not the song, but I
It
just
isn't.
can't
Mamma Mia.
stop.
Gimme,
ABBA
gimme,
has
gimme
infected
is
us
the song
all.
he's talking about, actually.
No, it's Fernando. Stop it.
Give me a minute. Okay.
Anyways, before we move on to the next one, I don't think we really mentioned it at any point, but these are all kind of not specifically stated which coast they'd be coming to, and assumed they would probably be bi-coastal properties. Um, this next one, however, is on one coast, and that is Hollywood. And remember how I just said if I had to pick one house that would definitely be coming to HHN this year? It's not Stranger Things. That was a lie. It's a Latin American original for Hollywood.
That's not fair.
The most shocking rumor we've ever had, right? Who would have guessed? John Murdy blatantly said, "We're done. We're done with Monstrose." But it sounds
Oh
like
god.
there's a really good chance we're gonna get basically Monstrose with a new name, or who knows? Maybe he just doesn't give a shit and he'll name it Monstrose again.
Welcome back, La Llorona.
Aw. El Cucuy full house again. It's time.
Uh,
I mean, I didn't see it, so sure.
It's true. Yeah, I just think that this will be like there will be a Latin American original in this location forever. Until we die, there will be a Latin American original. Until Murdy retires, that's just what this location's gonna be. And and yeah, I think it's a solid rumor every single year, forever.
I kind of missed when it was Universal Monsters location. That was fun.
Not anymore, Duff. Get
Not
ready
in
for
my
another
time.
Monstros.
Hey, I liked it at first.
Yeah. We were big Monstrous fans over here.
Actually,
We were.
I gotta say, I mean, I thought it was a pretty solid house last year overall too, because they changed it up just enough, and it was better than the second one.
I'll tell Murdy to make so he actually goes back on his word and makes a Monstros 4 this year. Just for you.
Oh, are we gonna that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna square up when he's here in Orlando, Jonathan, and we're gonna threaten him because you have muscles, so you can like shake him down and I'll be the mouth.
It's true.
Now I have to figure out like a fun name for it because we had Monstros Dos, Monstress.
Monstrace.
Man, I'm gonna have to think about some wordplay with that
Ooh.
one. Nothing comes to mind immediately. I'll workshop it. I'll workshop it. But I assume both of you fully expect this to come as well,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. Come on.
and obviously none of us would be super hyped for it.
Eh,
No, I mean, I guess it depends, because
I
Latin
mean, yeah,
America Original has a, lot of things it could be, but I assume it's gonna go the basic route
yeah,
and
that's true.
be what every other house has been since Monstros.
I am speaking almost strictly with the expectation that it would just be a Monstrose style house.
Mhm.
It could be something
mm,
else, and in which case I could be very excited for it.
Too choopy.
Choopy baby. All right, let's move on to our next one then, and this one is going to be for Orlando specifically. And this is something we've mentioned previously, but it's started to gain some traction seriously at this point, and that's going to be Jack versus Oddfellow. What do you guys think about that one?
Feels like it's inevitable. After what, we talked about it, the things we saw in El Artista. Here's the thing though. I don't know if it has to be a house. Like it could just be the event, or something like that. But I would assume if they want to do a whole if this is gonna end up being their plan for this year, having a house just like Oddfellow did. Oddfellow had his own house. That would make a lot of sense. I think either it could not be a versus. Maybe they changed the story that we think they might be going, but I think this is gonna happen. I really do.
Jess?
Um, I feel like I've talked about this a little bit on how I don't want the fives to be an anniversary year anymore, and if it is versus, I want it to be like a big, like Infinity War, Endgame, whatever one. Eugene always yells at me because I say the wrong one. Um, like I want it to be like a big thing with all the icons. I just don't like. I wish it was for like 40, 50, or something like 35. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm in my 30s. I just 35 isn't that fancy to me anymore. But yeah, I'm excited for it if it happens. Either way, I love the icons. Those are my babies. Um, I just am very curious on how this looks. for this year and like how they do it. I don't know what the right way even means to say like do it the right way because no matter what, somebody's gonna be disappointed because that's how fan service works. So, you know, I just hope we get a lot of FaceTime with the icons again because last time we did it, different precautions were being taken.
Yeah, I will say I do generally agree with you that I think the five shouldn't be as big of a deal. I think in general for anniversaries, it's kind of 25 is the last important five until you hit 75. So from that
Yeah.
period, you just do the decades. That's it.
Okay.
Just that's it. So I think you should still celebrate it like as an anniversary, but like a more low key one. You have
Right.
your anniversary zone, you have your anniversary house. Maybe the theme ties a bit into the lore, but not the full on. All right, here's all the icons again because we just did that at 30, basically. And it sounds like this is kind of what that would turn into. So yeah, I think it could be really cool. Don't get me wrong, it could be really
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, I agree that I would rather see these like 35th, 45th, 55th, be more low key anniversaries that can still stand on their own outside of just remember this icon and this icon and this icon. So yeah, I agree with that sentiment, and I still think it could be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You said it
Just
better.
I just want to see Oddfellow back. He was so cool.
Yeah.
I do love him.
See, I also think that would be a fun way to do anniversary years. Have like a single icon come back.
Oh, I like that.
You
And
know,
maybe this is just 2 of them and it's not all of them and I'm
that's true.
just, assuming.
Mhm.
I feel like there, the skeptic in me says there would be no restraint, and it would be like Civil War, like you said.
Yeah. I don't know.
Um, but yeah. So we're actually going to move on to our second category now, which is kind of the maybe this will come. And we're going to start off with one that people have asked for fucking ever, and that personally I might fit in category three, but it's here in category two. And there is a lot of smoke currently, I guess. And that's going to be it slash welcome to Derry. Obviously, I'm not too confident in this, but how do you guys feel?
I mean, I'm not confident either. Like really, if there wasn't so much smoke, I think I would have put it in the third category. But everyone keeps talking about this, and every source is talking about this. It's on the map. It's on, so it's like okay. I guess it's worth a maybe. Um, and another reason I think I put it in maybe too is because this is a Warner Brothers property, and Warner Brothers um needs the money. They need some money, so that this would be an easy give me some money move for them to give it and Welcome to Derry to Universal. But the skeptic in me says if we could get it, we would have already had it. The Welcome to Derry has made a big resurgence in that franchise. I mean, the show is doing amazing. I only watched a couple episodes, but I'm loving everything that I've seen. I know everyone generally loves the show. So maybe that's enough to for Universal to fight for it again and maybe win that fight and actually get it. Um, and it's something I would really want because who the fuck wouldn't want this property? I mean, it has everything. It has an iconic character. It has crazy, it Pennywise can turn into anything and do anything and have any type of scene and set that you want. You basically have a playground of things you can do with this property. It would be amazing if it happened. But I'm just skeptical right now saying exactly what this category is. Maybe it might happen. Could. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that for so many years everybody's like, "No, it's not happening. I wish it would happen. This is my white whale, but it's not happening." That now I'm like, I don't know if I could ever say that this makes sense because I'm just kind of like, "No, it can't happen." I don't know why, but it just can't. But I would love to see it. I have not watched Welcome to Derry yet though, so it's too busy
It's good.
watching Mr. Gog. Eugene watched the whole thing without me,
Well, damn.
Oh,
and I told him to because I was not in the mood. I won't lie. I wasn't ready to like watch anything. I have to be in the mood for that.
I
So
feel that.
Yeah, I'll add it to the list for when I'm on, my 2-week journey when I need something to watch.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's more just kind of along Jess's lines. It's feels like one of those things that just won't come. And if I had to put money on it, I'd say it will come one day. I don't think that day's anytime soon. Maybe Welcome to Derry could have really changed things, and they want to get it out there, and I think HHN's a great way to do it. That is possible. But at that case, it probably is more Welcome to Derry than it, which I think people would accept, but they probably don't want. But even then, I still don't expect that either. I don't know. This just because of history and watching how this goes down in the rumor mill, basically every single year, every other year, it just feels like one of those things that it's just not happening right now. Um, and I mean, we all could be surprised and it could get announced, but I do not have that expectation at all.
So, I think the categories are now, would we put money on it? Maybe we would put money on it, would not put money on it.
I think the put money on it part is basically gone for me. Although I do have one in this category that we'll get to that I was kind of discussing like as a thought before the rumor came out. So I have to do it for myself, obviously, to sound smart. But
Okay.
yeah,
Hmm?
we'll get there. But I guess we can move on to the next one now. And this is an interesting one for me. It's an Orlando only rumor, and that is going to be a Havoc sequel. If you don't know, Havoc is a house that has been at HHN twice with Dogs of War and Derailed. However, Derailed was in 23, so that'll have been 13-year gap since it has been here. Kind of like Resident Evil, I guess. Seems like it would be an interesting choice for an original series to revive. Um, any thoughts on this one, guys?
Um, somebody actually pointed this out to me in the live I did, like, right after the spec map came out, and it was the first time I had heard this idea because obviously the map used, the Huntsville Havoc as the logo, and that's, like, where I think a lot of people are also getting that from now.
Hmm.
But I was like, "Wow, what a crazy pull." Give credit. That was kinda smart, and the person who pointed out, I wish I remembered who you were because that was also really smart. Um, it's something that everybody talks about who got to see it. It's an all-timer, and it's held in really high regard. I don't know how you feel about it, Duff.
I'll get there.
Okay. But, I've never seen it at the event in any way, shape, or form, even in, like, an anniversary or something, because 'cause I've only seen a couple. Or one. Yeah, I guess whatever one. But yeah, whatever, cool. I'm happy whenever something comes back from like history that I didn't get to see at HHN, except for the things in Hell Block Horror.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you, Jess. Like, I've never seen Havoc. I tried. Part of me wants to watch old videos of old houses, but like, I'll only start doing it when, like, once you get to like Havoc time, like, I'll only start doing it when it actually starts becoming rumors, and then I'll start doing research on a lot of that stuff. Um, I'd be for it because history, and I've never seen it. It'd be cool. Another part of me thinks the only reason this is on any spec map and any rumor mill is because there's a code name that says train.
Yes.
And so everyone's like, "Oh, gotta be Havoc." And I mean, it could be, but I don't know. I think originals are super, besides the obvious ones like Jack versus Oddfell, I think originals are super hard to guess right now. Um, so I don't know. I'd be for it. I wouldn't be against it. I just don't really have strong opinions on it right now, and I don't have strong feelings that it will happen. Just more of like I guess it makes sense with the code name, but it might be too on the nose.
What
Is
if sorry, real fast stuff.
Mhm.
What if, because this is, if we get Resident Evil and that or something like that, that's two things from 13 years ago. What if we just got like, they've done, sequels, all original sequels. What if it's like 13 or like a derivative of 13? I'm trying to think with my big brain now. Not really actually, but I just thought 13, 13. I don't know. That's whatever. As
Sure.
you were saying, Duff.
Yeah,
It's happening.
possible. Sure. Is really the main reason this is out is because of Train being a code name?
Yes.
Well,
Because
and the logo.
And
And yeah,
that
and
was
the
on the
map.
spec map. Yeah.
Yeah, on the
Uh,
spec map.
because I mean, I think a that'd be way too straightforward if you're thinking specifically like Havoc derailed. Like the whole thing, the premise was you were on a moving train. Uh, like, but also if we're talking Havoc as a whole, that would be really weird to use because like that's not actually a plot point of Havoc itself as like a series. Like Dogs of War, that has nothing to do with it, and it's just a simple plot point in the second one, derailed. So that'd be just really weird to use in the first place. Uh, Also, I think a really weird property to use. I wouldn't hate it returning because I think, kind of come back and do right. I think Dogs of War, when it came out, was very well regarded house. It was a very good house. And then when Derailed was announced, people were very excited for it. It was a cool concept, and it just kind of fully fell flat on its face. And there are people who have it
Mhm.
regarded as just one of the worst houses of all time. Um, so it feels like one of those properties or series that's has been dead. Like they've just let it die and have no interest in doing it. Um, but I mean, I guess if they want to take another crack at it, sure. I just don't see any real. If this is pure speculation and not actual like rumors coming out, I just don't see where I'd get any credence that this would actually be coming.
I will say, I do remember one detail, that train was not where the Havoc logo was on the map. So I do think that it's funny that
Huh.
Oh, so where
yeah,
was it? Do you remember
train
where it
was in,
was?
or Havoc was in Fast and Furious on the map.
Oh, and Fast and Furious is what is that code name? Helicopter.
Which makes sense, I guess, more for just like I guess war, like
General
whatever.
war, yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's true.
So that was, I remember that specifically. If you're not following us on TikTok, I'm gonna plug that right now. The conversations in there, people bring up things I've never thought of. And that gets me going in a whole other direction. And that's, we started with train and I brought up Havoc derailed. And then somebody said, you need to get to the next thing on the spec map. I have a thing, I have a theory, or I can tell you what it is. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's when they said the Havoc logo. And then we had a whole other conversation about Havoc as well with that. So, and helicopters.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But I
Okay.
do remember that. That's the only thing I can give insight on probably for the rest of the episode now.
Is it weird that I'd buy a helicopter more for Havoc
Yeah.
than
Oh,
a
I do
train?
too. 100%. Because train, people were also, something we're going to get to later in category 3, but something on here people were telling me and I was like completely dismissing because it's insane.
Oh, I can already guess what
Yes,
it is.
train, you guys are insane. The year
Uh,
after the man passed, we're going to get there. Okay, I'm going to hold that in. I'm going to hold that in as a music fan. I'm going to hold that in. Okay. There is my insight on Havoc.
yeah.
There we go.
Sum it up though, I think it would be cool if it did come back and they tried to reboot it because the first one was a really good house. So there's that. So moving on to the next one, and this is going to be just Hollywood, but with the potential this spreads to Orlando, but just Hollywood for the moment, luckily. And that is the return of Halloween and Michael Myers.
Boo.
It's just a
Fuck this
cycle at this
shit.
point. And it's like, yeah, we have this in category 2, but like would any of us be shocked at all if Halloween came back to Hollywood?
No.
Unless
It,
they did Halloween 3, I don't fucking want it. I'll make it that clear. It comes way too often. I'm not like Jonathan, I don't dislike Halloween houses in general. I don't dislike Michael Myers, but it comes way too often. I don't want it unless you give us Halloween 3. And I think we know that's probably not going to happen.
well, guess what,
Yeah.
Duff? Take a because this technically does say just Hollywood as of now. On for in terms of rumors. But guess what? The last
What?
Halloween house would be what 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
That's the rule. 4 years. Here he comes. Time for Michael
Has
Myers.
it really been 4 years?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Surprising, right?
It's Michael Myers time.
No.
Here
Well,
we
it will
go.
it will have been 4 years at
No,
this
I
event.
swear
Yeah.
I swear there was Halloween the year before WWE. Like, if you ask me in my HHN brain,
2022.
shut the I'm having an existential crisis right now, and it's based on how frequently we've seen Michael Myers or
Can we
not seen him.
can we not just
W
push him to like 5? Can we do that at least? Like, come on.
I You know what it is? Like,
Nope,
Jonathan, you're in
4.
the same boat as me. Shut up. We like, Michael Myers is a constant in our HHN life, like, literally a constant. It's everyone, but,
Yeah,
like, specifically in this last little bout. God, how many this will be the 3rd time?
And
4th? I don't even know anymore,
I
man.
can't
you
fucking
know what's
escape him.
crazy? In my first 8 years of going to HHN, he was like a white whale that was never gonna come, and he came, and now we can't get rid of the fucking guy.
Literally can't kill him. That's the whole plot of the fucking franchise. I would like to point that out.
Oh my god, I can't wait till he's an icon in 1 year, and that's the whole thing. They can't they can't kill him. He's
Are
always
we
here.
living in a Halloween movie?
I think we might
I think
Oh,
we are.
Jesus. Oh, I'm definitely not going out west.
be. Hey, we only have it on tier 2. It's not a definite.
I don't know. This is like the maybe money category. The Havoc helicopter conversation really shifted my view on category 2. Whew.
I had to give category to something, some properties. But here's another thing with Halloween and the rumor right now of just being in Hollywood. As we know, Murdy loves his patterns. Murdy, the minute he hits a home run, he is going to, you know, take that home run and drive it into the ground as fast as he can, to recreate the magic of what he had before. Now, I didn't do it, but Duff, you did like their Jason last year, right? Their Jason universe.
Yeah, I did a lot actually.
So
It was
my
my number
my
1.
theory is that he did. Oh, it was your number. Yeah, it was your number one. So
Mhm.
he did Texas. People love Texas generally. Overall. He did Jason. People love Jason. And he's just picking another icon, another horror icon. And I think if Halloween comes to Hollywood, and if it's just them, it's gonna be Murdy saying, "I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other houses with Texas and Jason, and do it with Myers, and make it a celebration of Michael Myers, and have every type of Michael Myers in the house, and show a bunch of different locations, and do a lot of things." But here's my problem. I don't know if I don't know. Michael Myers does get goofy, but I don't know if it's like as drastic as like Jason and Leatherface. But
Uh,
is
I
it
mean, Manhattan exit or I got my properties confused. Uh,
Yeah.
sorry, jeez,
Jason
my
X?
bad.
That's what you're thinking of,
Jason
right?
S. Yeah, no, no, that's not what I
No.
meant.
No.
I
Oh
was
no,
going the
fuck,
opposite.
fuck. We're
See,
both going Jason.
we're both
Shit.
going the opposite direction.
Why are
Oh
we talking
god.
about him?
I'm
It's his
gonna shut up.
universe. It's all Jason. I'm thinking of the house.
What just happened?
I
I
think
don't
we
know. I
both
just told you
just
I'm gonna shut up now. We
there we go.
malfunctioned.
Yeah, it's
The wrong
over.
word came out of my mouth, and it just snowballed from there.
Well, Halloween. Let's put it to bed, please.
My mind just
Well,
became the house and just became Jason, 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 Jason.
Oh my god, Duff, I think you had something to say about this last one, right?
yes, I did. Moving on. It's another Hollywood only rumor. And that is actually, I had this literally written down for our way too early predictions episode that never happened. And I think it's too late to be way too early, so it's not going to happen. But I said that Terrifier will return very shortly, like immediately, like this year, to HHN. And it would not be a house, but it would be in other forms, such as a show or the Terror Tram. And this rumor is a Terrifier Terror Tram, which kind of makes a ton of sense, which is why it was on my list, to be fair. What do you guys think about that, though?
I think it's great. If we have to forever do IPs in the Terror Tram from now on, because I feel like that's the rule now. I think the days of an original Terror Tram are over, unfortunately, with how successful these past ones have been. Even when they've just been fucking Blumhouse, it somehow does better than the god tier Terror Tram with Larry Larva. No one liked that apparently except us. But if we have to do an IP, Art the Clown isn't a bad choice because you can do a lot with him and he's funny and interactive. And I feel like every time you do the tram, it could be different. Unless the majority of the actors are wearing the fucking masks from their Hollywood house, then I don't know how much I'd like it. I think I'd
That
probably
would be
hate
the
it.
case, and you know it.
Yeah, so maybe I am against this. Maybe it wouldn't be very good. So I think my whole tone has changed because if it's all just mass, maybe I just wouldn't give a fuck and just be like, all right, it's another Terror Tram. Never mind, fuck this shit. I'm over it.
Fair.
Wow.
I
Wow.
like that whole conversation you just had with yourself. That
I was like,
changed
maybe it could be
everything.
great, and then I was like, wait, no, it's Hollywood. It's no, and yeah, it was over. All my hype was gone.
You started answering yourself, so I zoned out for a second. I
I
forgot what
did.
we were talking about. I got it now. I figured it out. Um, I don't, I think it makes sense. He's a fun time. And I think that the Terror Tram's just fun now. So, yeah. I guess I probably won't see it. I guess I'm not going out there this year. I've decided already. My job makes it impossible that I don't think I will really be able to go out there if I'm a teacher. So
Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
rough time.
I can't. It's hard to get time off during that. It's like the beginning of the school year. So
But
like,
you have to see Scary Farm again. Like you
I
can't just not do
know.
that ever again.
Maybe I will make it happen this year. I shouldn't be down in January about not going. So
Correct.
you know what? I will go. I'll have a long
Yeah.
weekend or something.
Yeah.
But honestly, that would be like a high point for me, like art on the Terror Tram. Sorry, Jonathan.
No,
I
it's
can get
okay.
past
Yeah.
the masks. Like, it's whatever. Nothing will beat Larry Larva for me. Um, but they're gonna shove an IP in the Terror Tram as long as they can, and I think this is a good one. Because like
Mhm.
Damien said that they can just kind of do whatever at this point. He was happy with both coasts.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think there's kind of three strong reasons why I this was something I was going to predict, and that is Art the Clown is popular as fuck, and people loved him at HHN, and why would they want that to stop? Two, Damien Leone is very into it and would obviously be down to work with them again. And three, what's the easiest place to shove a character you possibly can? That's either the Terror Tram or a show. And I think the Terror Tram makes a ton of sense because the way the Terror Tram works, you're basically just getting terrorized the entire time. And who better to terrorize you than Art the Clown? So it almost makes too much sense. So much sense. I want to move it to category one, but I feel like that's my personal bias of wanting to be correct more than thinking it's actually going to happen. So it's fine in category two. But that actually wraps up category two, and now we're going to move to category three, where we have several options where we just kind of don't think they make too much sense. And I think there's one that Jonathan's going to lose his mind about and have a conniption on this episode. Uh,
Possibly.
but but we'll wait till we get there. The first one is kind of similar to one we talked about in category one, but specifically for Hollywood, and that is going to be Jack versus Hollywood Harry. This is something that's actually been like talked about for a long time in the community, but I don't know if it's ever been like full on rumored. To be fair, I don't know if it's currently being rumored. It feels more like speculation, but we're here. People are discussing it. Jack versus Hollywood Harry. Any thoughts on this one?
boo, tomato, tomato, tomato. Sorry. I just call me an Orlando snob, and I just feel very protective over Jack. And I don't think he needs to fight a clown out there. And I like Hollywood Harry. I think it's fun that they have their own character out there that they can use when they want to and when they need to. Kind of like how Orlando was with Jack in the beginning, and now we know when he's popping up usually. But it just doesn't make sense to me, especially when like Jack versus Oddfellow is rumored. So no, the stories don't have to go together, and Jack is like an all being thing. But it would just be weird, right? And he's in Vegas. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think the only reason this popped up on the spec map is because of that one, the panel, the spook, the not the spooky,
Mm,
whatever, the Midsummer Scream panel.
summer.
yeah, that ILO and Murdy were at, and they were just talking about Hollywood Harry and Jack, and like something could happen, maybe, possibly. And my theory is that something happens somewhere in Vegas and not anywhere in Hollywood. So no, I don't think it's if it does happen, I don't think it would be this year, especially because I think it's more likely for Jack to appear in Orlando. And it would be very confusing if he appeared in Orlando and Hollywood. Though at the same time, I guess it was confusing that Scarecrow appeared in Hollywood and Vegas at the same time. So maybe rules don't matter anymore. Maybe anything's on the table. So who fucking knows?
Correct. The rules do not matter. Yeah, I don't think I have much interest in this, and I think a lot of that comes from Murdy basically coming out and saying he's not interested in stuff like this.
Hmm.
So why would I be interested if the guy who creates this doesn't really want to do it? You know? Um, yeah, simple as that. If you want to bring back Hollywood Harry, go ahead. That's fine. I think he's a cool enough character. Um, outside of that, I just don't see it happening in general. Simple as that. Also, again, going back to that, this is just super base speculation, right? This is not an actual rumor that has come from anywhere, has it?
No, it's the only time it actually appeared as a quote unquote rumor is that it was on the Horror Night Nightmares map. So that's why it was included here. But that is, I
Gotcha.
think, the only place it appeared.
Gotcha. All right, well, we will move on to our next one. And this is something that I'll say people have asked for a long time as well. This is potentially for both coasts or none, which is more likely. And that is an Ice Nine Kills original house. I don't love Ice Nine Kills, so you guys can talk about this first.
I don't either. So, Jess, do you?
Um, I feel like my sister has a gun to the back of my head right now. Um, I enjoy the theatrics of an Ice Nine Kills performance, but I'm not like a huge fan of theirs. I think that they have some fun songs. Um, but we've talked about this before. The problem is with them, it's all IP based.
Gotcha.
So like it's literally all based on things that they like to do at Horror Nights. We would have to have the rights for individual things. Like, I mean, they just did like a Batman or Batman Returns song or something, or Joker. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
Joker song.
Joker. Like they have a Jason song. They have a Shining. Like they have all the different horror franchises have like a song. Obviously, they did for Terrifier. They're fun. They're very theatric. They do full performances and kills on stage when you go to their shows. Um, I just don't see them coming to Horror Nights until they do like their own original horror something, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Because they could. I think they fully could do it. They just haven't.
Yeah, and to be clear too, like the rumor going around right now is that they would score an original house,
Oh.
like kind of like Slash does. But they would score it and make songs for it. And there it'd basically be an original house that they heavily inspire and just something like that. Not like a weekend scenario, but more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a house that's an original, but they're very heavily involved in it.
That almost sounds like that's just something people want, and that's
Mhm.
where this is coming from, which I understand that's why it's in category 3. Um, but that's interesting. I also just don't it's just like a I don't know. It'd be cool if it happened, but this year? Why? Why for an anniversary? Hmm? Could do other things for originals. Maybe it's a Hollywood thing. Who knows?
Could be.
Sounds like a
That would
John Murdy thing, even though Murdy wouldn't give a
Yeah.
fuck about these guys.
No, probably
Be like, "Oh, can I sing on the track?"
not. um, yeah, I think I kind of agree with the sentiment that it's just people finding a way to get around. like you said, the discussion that we have every year that all of their music is kind of based off an IP. So the way around that is just have them score something. Does that actually make a ton of sense, though? I mean, just to slap Ice Nine Kills on the name, maybe, but that again feels much more like a Hollywood only thing. Is does Murray care about Ice Nine Kills? I, it just doesn't seem like something that adds up, unfortunately, for everyone who wants it.
Yeah.
Um, for this next rumor, we're gonna stick with music. Uh, I think Jess is gonna enjoy this quite a bit. Uh, and this is going to be an Ozzy Osbourne house, which, as Jonathan has pointed out in our outline, has kind of died off quite a bit. It kind of came in hot for a second there, and then just stalled completely, which is completely how I feel about it too. Is that it's not going to happen. It. I don't think it's the right time to do it. I think people think
No.
that'll be a cool tribute, but like also no, I, it's really not. And then it feels like that's why it's a thing, and that's why we're talking about it because he just passed away. It's on everyone's minds. Oh, now it's time to do it. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense that would actually come this year, unless someone on the team is really like, yeah, this would be the perfect time. But again, I don't think this actually comes from a founded rumor at all. Right? This is just speculation mostly.
This was a official, well, not official because none of these rumors are official, but this is a rumor by Legacy that he later. The reason I said it, rumor seems to be dead in the water. But it did spread. I mean, it spread to a lot of things and the spec maps and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't remember if he was on this, if it was even on the Hornet spec map. It might have been. I don't know. Once again, I'm sure just compiling everything we missed in the period of the weeks we haven't recorded. But Legacy's basically said, yeah, he thinks this isn't happening anymore.
Hmm.
To himself, who started the rumor. So I think it's very safe to say this isn't happening. But then, maybe that's where Ice Nine Kills came from. Well, maybe this can happen, and instead of this, and it's just a lot of conflicting things that I feel like there's a real answer somewhere, but we're not there yet. And there's just pieces, and people are taking the pieces and playing a game of telephone, and they're becoming their own things that likely aren't going to happen.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely feels like that.
Yeah, you said it, Duff, already. You got it. Why would we do this? Like, not even a year. I mean, it would be over, I guess, over a year, but like, no, no. What? That's not a tribute. Like, his family would never. They're still grieving. It's crazy, people. Crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I just think people saw Train.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed. I laughed when people were suggesting that. I was like, no, you guys are crazy and insensitive.
Well, is it time we move on to the final rumor we have in this
Have fun,
roundup?
Jonathan.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass this over. Have fun, Jonathan.
I know nothing about this, but I know you're really passionate.
Yeah, this is another rumor. This is pretty recent, but I think it's a bunch of bullshit. The boys is a rumor for this year right now. Currently, I don't think it will stay that way very long, but it no. This series does not need to become a Horror Nights house. The series is not horror. It's at all. It's satirical, but it doesn't fit Horror Nights. None of this makes sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. I want to know where this came from because I would not be able to imagine where this came from for however rumors spread, how the fuck people think. Yeah, the boys, that makes sense for Horror Nights. It doesn't make sense. I don't even need to say anything because you watch the show and you go, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's just a fucking superhero show, but they're evil, but they're not like scary. So I don't know. This is stupid. This is dumb. I thought it'd be a lot more passionate. I just think it doesn't even deserve much talk because it's like this isn't gonna happen. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it yet. It's actually something I have wanted to start eventually. I know it's years late at this point saying that, but From what I know about it, it makes literally no sense. I don't know if it makes more or less sense if you've actually watched it, but from my limited knowledge, I'd be like, "What the fuck?" That's all. That's all I got.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Jess?
No, I have 0. I know nothing about this is the least I feel like I've known about any rumors or spec. Wow, I went from being really knowledgeable last year to here we are. I got knocked down a peg this year.
Well, don't worry. Most of them will not come, and we probably will not have to talk about again. So
I
Mhm.
still won't know anything
I
probably.
would say a good 4 or 5 of these just completely fall off by the next time we talk rumors.
Yeah,
So,
easy.
and that's a good thing, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's it. That's all the rumors we have. Anything you guys wanted to wrap up on? I think that's kind of all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I do think, Jess, that we have a voicemail.
We do.
Hi, horror fans. This is Spooky Bits calling in again. And this is kind of a follow up question to one that I asked, I can't remember when. But this is, uh, oh, right. This question is which original haunted houses or scare zones from HHN Orlando would you like to see come back to Halloween Horror Nights 35, either as a sequel, prequel, or crossover style haunted house? For me, I would probably choose Vanity Ball from HHN 29. That's one of my favorite scare zones. I loved how vibrant it was while also being just super gory and grotesque, and I really like the representation in there. I think it'd be really cool to see that as like a behind the scenes style haunted house where we get to see how the fashion show works. And then another pick I would love to see is I would love to see an HR Blood and Guts Part 2 style house. Uh, like another holiday mashup with HR Blood and Guts as the host. That is my number one way back house or scare zone from the past. And I just really wish I got to experience just because my favorite haunted house of all time is Slaughter Cinema, and HR Blood and Guts walked, so that Cinema should run. And yeah, curious to hear what you guys uh, are gonna pick. And that was a great episode with the 6 year anniversary of the Schmitties too. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you in the streets.
Thanks so much for calling again, Spooky Bits. And another great question as well. Um, Pretty open ended for us to choose from too. Just kind of what past scare zone house would you like to see? Would be a cool representation, almost in any form, prequel, sequel, crossover at HHN 35. Does anyone have anything off the top of their heads that come to mind?
Yeah. Spooky Bits stole my answer with Vanity Ball. So how rude of you, Spooky Bits. You ask me a question and steal my answer all in the same voicemail. No, I agree 100% with Vanity Ball. I wanna see, like, a full, like, art deco style house with the gory god, I've been begging for it for a long time now at this point, but I agree with
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still thinking.
you,
So, Jonathan, if you can cut in, go ahead.
I was just thinking of 29 scare zones because I was kind of getting that mindset of like, what from 29, what scare zone could be a cool house to do in the future? And thinking about the zones, I wonder if they could sort of. It wasn't a super well received scare zone, but I think it could be like a r- really good house if they did it right. What if they did Vikings Undead, but like expanded it into like a full house and like actually, like gave it a lot more substance than the scare zone had? I think that could be really fun and a cool time period and cool, sort of cool things to choose from. Could
Okay.
be
Yeah, I
cool.
could. Yeah, I
I-
could see that. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
yeah.
So obviously we kind of talk about things like this a lot. So I was trying to think of something of a very fresh answer, and I think I thought of one that's very, very different from anything I've said before. And that's what if we actually themed the HHN uh, club? Oh my God, what is, I forgot the name. We just had it. And I loved it.
Club horror?
Club horror. Jesus Christ. I
Wow.
wanted to say HHN bar, and I was like, that's the wrong location. What if Club Horror was themed to a former scare zone?
Mm.
Zombie Graw.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you just stole my Bourbon Street experience idea I said during HHN about Mardi Gras?
I guess I kind of did. That's okay. Yeah.
I'll accept it.
But yeah, Zombie Graw I thought was a very underrated, fun scare zone, and I think tying that into the party atmosphere of Club Horror. Also, it's literally in the same exact location that Club Horror's in, so that's fun. You could have some more thematic elements, like some overturned floats somewhere around the area. They could throw some beads. Obviously, the costumes would be pretty easy to come up with for the dancers and the DJ. Specialty cocktails, obviously Mardi Gras style drinks. I think that's a pretty easy home run.
Yeah. Slap a food booth back there.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Bada boom,
It'd be
bada bing.
awesome.
It is almost exactly what I said they needed at Mardi Gras, but I will allow it.
What if they just did the thing for Mardi Gras that we want for HHN instead,
Right.
but with zombies?
I had a name.
So did
I
I.
like it.
Zombie Gras.
Shut up. Thanks, Spooky Bits.
And I guess that will wrap it up for this week. Hopefully, a much more consistent schedule at this point. I think we should be more back on tracks now. There was some travel and other stuff going on that really prevented us from being more consistent. But I think it's about that time of year where we got this. We're gonna do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but before, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at HHN365, and our TikTok at HHN365pod. Our Discord, our link will be in the description. You're going to want to join that to talk HHN year round. Our merch shop is hhn365.com. And if you also want to leave a voicemail and ask us a question, make a statement, tell us you hate us, whatever it is, we'll play it here on the show. That number is 407-906-4134. And until next week, hopefully, we'll see you in the streets.